I wish Streamlabs would keep the my scene setting, or not scene, but my studio settings. I don't know what settings it's supposed to be, but like studio mode shows me what I want to show versus what I am showing. And it like reverts that every time I close it and reopen it. I'm probably just doing it wrong. Ah, what a day. Hmm. Oh yeah, I ordered more solder. Forgot, I'm about out of it. We'll see if I make it through today with the solder that I have. I may very well not. What's up, Kaz? Wednesday, I am flying for the first time since February of last year. It's going to be really weird. I have not even stepped foot in an airport I've been to the airport a couple times, but only in the arrivals area. Well, and departures. And not inside, just picking people up or dropping people off. So it's going to be weird to get in a lift and go to the fucking airport and then go into the airport. I hope I still remember how to go through security. Oh yeah. No, I got stabbed 3 weeks ago. My second stab. I'm fully vaccinated. I'm fine with that. It's just gonna be weird because, it's just fucking been a while. Yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point, at least at the convention center, they're just doing walk-ins. You don't need an appointment anymore. Come on, pins. I already lost one and I haven't even tried to put it on. Now, where are my trusty handy dandy tweezers? Yeah, although airplanes, I want to say the air is pretty fresh on them usually because the air comes off of the engines and from outside. So that's like constantly blowing through, but I'm not really sure how that works. It will be the longest flight I've been on since August 2018. No, 2019. I don't remember if I went home to see my family first or if I went to Japan first. But since then, I've only flown to Vancouver, BC, and Los Angeles, which are very short flights. And that was January and February last year. Right before everything hit the fan. Like, I remember being in my hotel in Vancouver, BC, and hearing about COVID on TV, and hearing that they were screening people for it at Vancouver Airport or something like that. And I was like, what? I'm about to fly through there on my way home. Should I be worried about this? And that was in January 2020. And then when I flew to Los Angeles in February, it was still not really a big deal. And then March, everything shut down. Yeah, it's not that long of a flight. It's like I'm flying through Denver, so I think it's like 3 hours to Denver and then another 2 to Cedar Rapids. Something like that. 2.5. It's like 5 hours total flying time. Or total travel time, I should say. But it's just one of those things. Like, I used to fly all the time. Like, well, I'd say 2020 was the first time I haven't flown internationally since 2014 or something, but that's not true. Because I flew to Vancouver, BC. But it's been a while. Oh, no, 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 no. I guess I did fly once for work. Um, so I flew to New York, and that was a 6 hour flight. So that was the longest flight I've taken recently, and that was in November of 2019. I do not recommend the Portland to Newark flight on United because it's ass crack of dawn, both directions. And there's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, the longest flight I've ever taken was to New Zealand from San Francisco. And the return trip, of course. But I think the flight there is longer. I don't remember. It's like 13-hour flight. And on my first trip to New Zealand, I was sitting next to a group of people who were flying there to work on the production of a TV show, some sort of Civil War reenactment or something. I don't remember what it was. But they were like, yeah, you should come be an extra for us. And they were totally cool. It was like one of the main actors or something like that. And some production person. I had no idea who they were. And I think they loved that. But we were all sitting in coach, so, you know. It was the first time I'd flown anywhere outside of the U.S. Or been anywhere outside of the U.S. besides Canada. Was that trip. New Zealand? Yeah. New Zealand is a magical, wonderful place. I don't know anything about the North Island. I've only been in Auckland and Wellington. And I liked Wellington better. But Auckland was cool. But then I've been all over the South Island. 'Island. 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 'Island because I literally walked across the South Island. So I've been to a lot of the South Island. Yeah, friends making unwise decisions is never a good thing. Speaking of unwise decisions, I was supposed to, well, let's just say, my friend who's dying of cancer right now, I always told him if I ever did a certain thing that I would do it, but with him, and he had to babysit me because I trust him with my life. And never got the opportunity to do that. But said friend happened to come across some of those things that we might do and need a babysitter for. And we were going to do them with his niece and a couple of people on Friday. He obviously wasn't going to be officially babysitting, but, honorary babysitter. But just, to be able to have that experience and do it with my best friend, but I'm not going to be able to do that because we were going to do it Friday and I'm going to be in Iowa now. So that's kind of a bummer. I imagine she is still going to do it because she's never done it either. Yeah, I'm talking about doing some things of the fungal variety. I don't know how much YouTube cares about talking about drugs, but mushrooms are pretty fucking tame. I think, anyways. Well, one, I would have to find some on my own, and then my foster dad, who I'm going to see, would have to babysit me, and that would be awkward, I think, because he's pretty not really down with that sort of stuff. I don't think. Finding it, I don't think would be that hard because I know some people. I mean, I grew up in this town, so it's a simple matter of like reaching out to a couple people who might know a couple people who might know a couple people where I can get some. I don't think it would be that hard, but just the logistics. Yeah, they can't demonetize me because I don't want their money anyways. I just don't want people to see ads. That's the only thing I care about. And to be honest, if me just like starting off every stream with like a trip report would make it so YouTube wouldn't show ads on my stream, I would absolutely make up a trip report every single stream. Like, okay, now that that's done, We can talk about building keyboards. The colors were really vivid in this one. I looked at one of those stereo eye pictures or whatever, and my brain exploded. I tried to build a puzzle, and I just couldn't. Well, so I am a little unsure about that because it's not an ad. I'm not getting paid. I am getting paid to build these keyboards, but I'm not getting paid for the stream, right? I'm getting paid for the, like, if I did this off stream, it wouldn't change how much Thomas is paying me to build them. In fact, I explicitly asked him if I could stream it, and if he had said no, I would have been like, okay, that's fine. Because, you know, it's whatever. So is it like includes promote or paid promotion? I don't really think so. And none of my links to any of the stuff on my stream descriptions or anything are affiliate links. Hello, Lucky Spray. And also, hello, Leah. Sorry, I didn't, You got lost in a still frame of fire. I don't know how to interpret that message. That does sound like a very cool song title for like a Godspeed You Emperor or something like that. So what's the weather even like in the Midwest right now, Kaz? I'm assuming it's hot and shitty like normal. I'm actually kind of hoping to see a thunderstorm. I haven't seen a thunderstorm in years. Oh. Also, I'm sorry, Kaz. Is it okay that I talk about that on stream for you? If it's not, I totally understand and I apologize. I didn't even think about it. And I guess now that I said that, like, I just, like, asked you very publicly. I'm sorry. I'm a mess today. Okay. Then let's talk about something else. Or no, you're saying starting to get there, timing about right for a storm. Nice. You're talking about the weather. I keep forgetting there's like a 5-minute delay on this stuff. We have these things in Oregon they call thunderstorms, and they're really cute. You get like 3 lightning strikes, maybe. Like it's like it's like someone heard a thunderstorm described to them. And so they're like, "Oh yeah, we get those." Yeah, no, they're just yeah, you haven't seen a thunderstorm until you've been in Iowa in July. When it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the sky is looks like my wristband or my watch band. Yeah, mild rain is what we're getting out here right now. It's good. It's like the hottest spring, or not hottest, but the driest spring on record for Portland or for Oregon, which is just wonderful. Oh, just wonderful. Our fire season is going to be so terrible this year, and it was bad last year. That's just, I do want to take someone who's never been in a Midwest thunderstorm sometime and be like, okay, we're going to go to Iowa and we're going to sit on a porch somewhere and watch the storm go by. Just to freak them out. Yeah, I mean, I still have tornado nightmares. It's been a while though, but I still have them. One of my formative experiences was when I was living with my mom when I was in kindergarten. Um, we lived in this trailer, and a trailer is about the worst place you can be in a tornado. I mean, just about the worst place. Because at least outside you can grab onto something maybe, but in the trailer's just gonna get rolled and destroyed. It's just no, you don't want to be in a trailer in a tornado. So we're in a trailer and there's a tornado siren going off, and she looks up on TV or something, whatever. There's a tornado funnel cloud like 10 miles away or something like that. And so we leave to go find the town's storm shelter, which is supposed to be at City Hall, because this is a town of like 300 people, and probably 40% of them live in the trailer park. And so the City Hall is supposed to have an emergency shelter, but apparently it's locked. And I remember distinctly my mom complaining about a cop driving by with a bunch of people standing outside of City Hall, outside of the storm shelter, and there's tornado sirens going off, and the cop just drives by like no big deal. So she was pissed. Fortunately, about a block away, this church opens up their doors and lets everyone in the basement. And so I'm inside, losing my mind because I'm scared, because I'm 5 years old. Maybe 4, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. And my mom is outside watching the storm, smoking a cigarette. And she only came inside when she saw the tornado itself. It was about 2 miles from where we were. She could see the funnel cloud. Or the funnel. She was like, okay, it's time for me to go inside. But here, I'm losing my mind. And I've got these, like, church ladies who are there, like, trying to keep me calm. My mom's standing outside. I'm really worried for my mom. Of course, I tell you what, I would probably be standing outside there too if I were her today. So, but it was, when you're 5 years old and yeah. Oh, and so we got back to the trailer and so we had a cat and the cat had apparently gone completely bonkers and like knocked over a lamp and did some other stuff. Um, it's funny. Oops. I put those on top. That's fine. It doesn't matter which way they go, but I didn't mean to put those on top. Whatever. Well, I live here because I don't have a whole lot of choice, to be honest. I have a lot more choice than a lot of people do, but I still don't have that much choice. Earthquakes are no big deal. I've felt many. When I was in Chile, I was, you know, in an earthquake because that's just if you're in Chile and you don't experience an earthquake, you haven't really been to Chile. Most of the time, the ground shakes, a couple things fall over, and you get some cool footage of store shelves just disintegrating. And that's about the extent of it. Really deadly or damaging earthquakes just don't happen very often. Tornadoes, they're usually they're in the Midwest, and most of the Midwest is farms. So a tornado touches down in the middle of a farmer's field, it tears up a cornfield and goes away. Maybe it hits a house or two. You know, your odds are pretty low of getting impacted personally by a tornado or even an earthquake. Wildfires suck. I don't like wildfires. And I've been through a lot of wildfires because Los Angeles, we had wildfires. Portland, we have wildfires. We don't get any wildfires in the Midwest because it's not dry enough, but I'll take mountains and wildfires over flat nothingness. And yeah, hurricane country, I don't know why anybody lives in Florida. Not just because of hurricanes, though, but also because of hurricanes. Oh, and then there's one more. Droughts. Yeah, I mean, a drought, I cannot say that a drought has changed my behavior in any substantial way through any point in my life. Other than, I guess, when I was in LA, it made me water my lawn less because they changed the water prices were different. And so if I wanted nice green grass, I had to spend a lot of money watering. So I just didn't. But that's about it. But see, I think in the Netherlands you get one of those things that's actually worse than all those combined, and that's flooding. Flooding is nasty. I grew up in the Midwest where you get floods. You know, Mississippi River, all the rivers flood. You get an especially rainy season, whatever. Lots of flooding. And flooding is very damaging and very impactful, disruptive for a lot of reasons. Well, I mean, you can hide from fires too, because you have, generally speaking, there are exceptions, of course, but generally speaking, you have a fair amount of warning about a fire, so you get the fuck out, right? About a wildfire. Whereas a tornado, it's like, oh, hey, this tornado is here and coming toward my house, and it'll be here in 5 minutes. You get no floods ever? Not even from like heavy rains? Because I know you don't get floods from the ocean and stuff like that, but don't you? You have rivers, right? LEDs. Okay. Yeah, and our big rivers have huge flood basins. Like the Mississippi River has like a third or 40% of the country drains into the Mississippi River. So if you get a large flood season, it'll take a long time, but that river will come up a lot. And does. All right, place your bets. How many am I going to have to fix? On each side? Last time, so my record, or my, not my record, but my record. Sure, we'll call it that. My record so far has been I got all of them on the first one, worked fine. The second one, I had to fix one on one side, and you could call it maybe two on the other side. I reflowed a couple of pads on two, but I didn't like test between. I just kind of was like, okay, well I'm here. I'm just gonna add a little bit to a couple of these. Whoop, and there goes one of the LEDs. No, but see, I've got my handy dandy up label. What did you get, Kaz? What record? Phoebe Bridgers. I feel like that's a name I am supposed to know but don't. Are you a fan of Baja Blast or something? Is she a relatively current artist or? Oh, Taco Bell. I am not hungry. I just had food. I had a katsu donburi, some miso soup, cucumber salad, and gyoza. And it was delicious. Sorry for the back of the head shot. Yeah, but I have mostly gray at this point, so although I have had multiple stylists who are like, people pay a lot of money to get gray like that. And I'm like, yeah, well, they can have it if they can take it off my head. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, but see, I don't want to dye my hair unless it's going to be like pink or something. Boom. 10 out of 10. All right. Oh, I already did that. When was the last time you let your hair grow out very far, Kaz? What do you mean now? What are you talking about? CDC doing what? So I was under the impression that one of the reasons why, at least in Oregon, hairstylists and nail salons and stuff were able to reopen early on is that what am I trying to say? Is that it wasn't a transmission method or something like that, or like it was low risk versus other things. Of course, the other reason being that it was people were going to get their nails done and stuff like that. They're just going to do it in private and unregulated and uncontrolled and all that stuff. So they needed to reopen those before the underground market took over and then it was out of their control. But also because, yeah, that was my understanding, anyways. I mean, I definitely got 2 underground haircuts during the pandemic because one of my best friends, his girlfriend was a barber and, out of work. She was like, I'll cut your hair. And I'm like, okay. Which reminds me, I need to schedule a haircut for tomorrow before my flight on Wednesday. So I guess what you were saying earlier by if you let it grow out, meaning without dyeing it versus I was for some reason picturing you with just like a shaved head. Like you'd just been clippering yourself this whole time or something. All right, more back of the head. All right, here goes moment of truth. All 10. Boom. Okay. So I think that is about as much as I can do on this board for now. So I've got the TR. Oh no, I can do the OLEDs. I can do the OLEDs. I'm gonna do the OLEDs. Yeah, we had that for a little bit. Like, you could not get a haircut appointment. But I don't know if restrictions have changed or what, but our barbershops have been open for, I don't know, at this point, probably almost a year. So most of that stuff is returned to normal. Okay. Tape. Hey Siri, what's 480 Celsius? Oh, okay, never mind. Wow. I'm soldering at. You know what? I should just change mine to Celsius. course, I don't know how. I thought I just pushed on this button, but I guess not. Is there a switch on the back of this? How do I change this to Celsius? I don't know how to change mine to Celsius. Whoops. I'm running mine at 618 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not already because when I built my first keyboard, I learned the temperature I wanted to run it at in Fahrenheit, and I haven't changed it. Yeah, 325C, but also note that I'm not using leaded solder, so I run a little hotter than some people do because they use leaded solder. Okay, now that's all I can do to this board. I don't have switches for the other one. Or the hot swap sockets. I have some, like out of my own stash, but I don't think they're the right ones, and also I don't have enough of them, so it doesn't matter too much. All right, what am I doing? QMK, clear EEPROM, flash, works. Okay, next. Whoops, that's not gonna work. All right, and that one flashed too. Oops, now I've got to untangle my USB cable. There we go. Okay. Sorry, got a little distracted by Discord. As you do. No, you were a very brief distraction on Discord. It was more that I had mentions on Split KB for various things. Maybe it's a problem with your keyboard and you need a new one. Well, one of the mentions was just Thomas going, "Hey, kitchen streaming building kyrias," and then another one was someone replying to that and being like, "Is that the last kyria?" And then someone else was asking me to pin something, and then I don't remember what else, but whatever. Okay, so we're going to take this Elite C, which is going on the left hand, and we're going to put it over here. So I don't put the wrong one in. As if I ever decide I might actually do an Instagram presence, I think I'm just going to farm that out to you. I'll just be like, I don't care. I don't want to have to deal with it. Have fun. I don't know. I've always wondered that. But as I understand it, generally what you do is you have the Elite C on the primary side and the Pro Micro on the secondary. And I don't know why you would want to do that. I mean, I know why you wouldn't want to necessarily have two Elite Cs because... Oh, you know what? No, what it is, almost certainly, is just because that's where you're going to plug it in. And the whole point of having the Elite C over the Pro Micro is because of the USB-C port. Because otherwise they're functionally the same, because they're the same processor, or same actual microcontroller, I think. Same pin out, same everything. They just, one has a USB-C port and the other one does not. Yeah, I just don't, I mean, the main thing I don't like about Instagram is the ads. and then that everybody's got to be an influencer or something. I just don't. It's just so fake, and I don't know. I don't get it. The other problem is, of course, Facebook. Oh yeah, sorry. So this is a Pro Micro, and the other is an Elite C. Let me just double check the order, because maybe they want it backward. Left half controller Elite C, right half controller Pro Micro. I am running out of solder real fast. We'll see if I have enough solder for these. Definitely not going to have enough solder for all the switches, because that goes through solder real fast. So I'm feeding like 6 inches of lead into each switch. And I have about 10 rotations of this spool left. And I don't get my new solder until Wednesday. Probably after I am on an airplane flying to Iowa. Oh, come on. So that was the last pin that I needed, and it just fell on the floor. Eh, there. All right. Okay. Almost put it in the wrong side. Yeah, I don't even think I'm going to be able to get all the LEDs with this much solder left. But I'm going to do a couple at a time and try. What I want to avoid is having an LED that's on the board that's only attached via one pad and goes back in the box until I get more solder. So what I'll do is I'll tin all these first pads, because that's not going to matter. And then I'm going to put the LED in and then solder all 4 joints and then move on to the next one. I think I'm going to get through at least 5. Okay, I'm actually relatively confident I'm going to get through all the LEDs. One thing that's actually kind of nice about having the camera where it is it's a little bit not super difficult to work around it because I can feel it. I know where it is. I don't have to look up at the shot all the time to see if my head is in the way. I mean, occasionally it still is, but at least there's like that feedback mechanism of like, oh, that's the camera. So if I just keep my head from touching the camera, then it's not in the shot. For the most part. What's why? Yeah. I'm probably gonna do a face cam when I upgrade this camera because I'll turn this into a face cam. But I'm kind of wondering what I want to do. Do I want to do like mounted on my fan, pointed at my face, so because I'm mostly looking down most of the time? Do I want it on the table? Do I want it like where do I want to put the camera for the face? Because like having it by my microphone, you're gonna be seeing the top of my head a lot because I'm looking down most of the time. And yeah, face cam is overrated, but people like it, and then I can gesture when I'm speaking, and it's not just hands, and you know. Oh, missed one. Also, Leah, you did the engagement wrong. It should be hashtag engagement. And also, pet deposit. So the thing you got to remember about deposit is deposit isn't that's as much as you're going to get if we screw up. It's a down payment on, or it's an advance payment on repairs they may have to make after you move out, which is why you get it all back if they don't have to make any repairs. So pet deposit makes sense because, you know, if you've got cats, odds are good you're going to have to swap out the carpet. But it's not like it's a fee. I mean, they have to, it's a deposit. They have to give it back to you. So whether you paid it or not, anyways. Okay. Moment of truth. 10 for 10. We're on a roll today. Now I'm, well, okay, 3 rabbits and a cat shirt. Okay. I was going to say I'm 3 cats and a cat shirt, but 3 rabbits is better. So you say you paid it. Do you have the canceled check or a receipt? Because that's the only real proof they have. Now, the real question is, why are they making this a big deal? Why do they care now? Are the cats doing something wrong? Whoop, 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 whoop. Almost put it in the wrong orientation. I mean, I actually put it in the wrong orientation, but I almost didn't catch it. That would have been embarrassing. Nah. Alright, now that Kaz is back, I can say this. Whether or not, or, wait, hang on. Let me think of how I want to say this. I might have just enough solder left to get all these LEDs done. It's really going to be down to the wire. No, you don't. Normal is boring. I mean, there's definitely a case for, like, varying levels of normal. But everyone's got shit they're dealing with. Yeah, no, I hear you there. What you want is Maslow's security. And, yeah. I want that for you, and I want that for everyone. Okay. All right. This is going to be another 10 for 10. I'm feeling it. 10 for 10. That is 40 for 40 today. And let me show you just how much solder I have left. That is not very much solder left. But I have enough to put the OLEDs on, so I'm going to. And then I'm calling it a day. not worth of switches. Yes, I got the fixed focus working. I hope it is as nice as I hope it is. Cost me $8 to get this fixed focus. Because the Logitech software doesn't work on the M1 Mac. But a little app called Webcam Settings for $8 on the App Store works just fine. Now I just need to wire it up somehow so that I can use this as a focus wheel. But I have a feeling I'm going to have to write my own version of this webcam settings to be able to do that. But we shall see. I may... No, I'm not going to do that while I'm gone. Because that would require me having to bring a laptop. And I'm not bringing my laptop, I'm bringing my iPad. Yeah, I know, that's pretty much what everyone else is saying. They're like, seriously, Logitech? Come on. It's not as though they're the biggest peripheral manufacturer on the planet. And, you know, the M1 Mac has been out for many months at this point. Yeah, something like that. Just, I mean, only raw HID because I know how to write a little thing that reads the raw HID on the other side. So I'm thinking like a little Go program that just listens for the raw HID and talks to the camera. I don't know. Because I don't know how to make a like GUI-ish application on Mac that I can say, here is a menu option, and then I know how to bind it to a key at that point because that's just a global key binding thing in Mac OS. But like making the app actually like have a menu option that I can bind the key to, probably easier just to do raw HID. But the very first thing I have to do is figure out how to actually control the camera. Then the rest of it's easy. At least that's what my brain is telling me. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, if I had a DSLR, none of this would be a problem because I just do it all on the camera. Or even like a Micro Four Thirds, or you know, any kind of like camera that has manual controls built into the camera proper. But this is all controlled by software that runs on the computer. Yeah, exactly. When I want something simple, like I don't need it to be a fully featured. I don't need it to do all the other stuff that it can do. I mean, it'd be kind of nice to have it do that, but I don't need it to do that. I just want to be able to hit autofocus button and turn the autofocus knob or turn the focus knob. That's really, if I could get those three things working on a macro pad, I'd be happy. I'd be super happy. And I can't imagine it's that difficult. I just don't know where to look for resources. But I haven't sat down to try it yet. So it's not like I'm like, man, I've been trying this for months. It's like, man, I've been trying this for like 5 minutes. I couldn't immediately find it, so I haven't looked further. What's this M50 mirrorless thing? Oh, a Canon M50? Yeah, they were telling me about that at the Pro Photo Supply store the other day. Along with their $400 panel lights and stuff. But I was like, yeah, I'm sure those are great. That's way more than I want to pay. At least at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can get cheapy crap from AliExpress that'll work just fine. I would prefer to buy it from somewhere local, but I'm not going to spend $400 to buy it somewhere local. I'll spend $50 on one from AliExpress or Amazon or whatever. Okay. So Leah says that I have enough solder for a whole other keyboard. That's all of the solder I have left. That's probably 4 switches. If you can get a full keyboard out of this solder wire, I'd be impressed. Well, auto hotkey is Windows only, I think. And the problem is that the software that I use doesn't support keyboard shortcuts. As far as I can tell. Because otherwise I'd already be done. Because I would just bind it to like Command Shift Control 4 and then whatever. Well, because I bought 16 bazillion diodes, and then I noticed the other day that I was running low on solder, and I bought some, and it hasn't arrived yet. That's how I have 16 bazillion diodes and no extra solder. It's basically a lead time problem. When I realized I needed more solder, the lead time was longer than the time before I was going to run out. Plus, also 16 bazillion diodes cost like $5. Well, so the problem with like hacking the software itself is that it's from the Apple App Store, so it's signed. So if I were to hex edit something, then it would no longer, the signature would no longer be valid and I wouldn't be able to run it. I'm sure I can do this whole thing in like 10 lines of Python. I just need to know what, because I'm sure it's just talking raw HID to the camera or something. I just need to look it up. I just haven't done it yet. I've had a lot of things going on in my life. And speaking of a lot of things going on in my life, this is my last stream for who knows how long, a week or two maybe, because my foster mom just died a little bit ago, and I'm going home to help out with whatever my foster dad needs until he doesn't need me anymore. Um, I don't think it'll be too long because, I mean, she's been dying for a long time. She's been in a nursing home for a long time, so it's not like, he's like, oh, she's not going to be in the house anymore. But, his mental well-being and all that sort of stuff. But that means I'm not going to be at my workbench. So I'm not going to be able to solder or anything. So no streaming for a little while. That's what I'm trying to say. I got distracted there. Sorry. Yeah, and this will be my first real trip with my iPad and my Reviang LP. So that'll be fun to see how that works out. And because half of the reason why I bought a Mac Mini is so I could connect to it remotely from the iPad, I'll get to see how that works out. Anyways, I'm rambling now. I'm sorry. Packing some stuff up here. So I've got 2 builds that I just did, that you just saw me finish, and I had 2 builds from the other day that I finished. I was gonna put caps on the one with box jades and do a typing test and stuff like that. I'm just gonna, I'll do that another time because I just don't, I'm leaving Wednesday morning and I have everything. Yeah, the nice Nano Reviang LP. I don't have it down here. I would show you. So, but I want to get that sent out because it's finished. It just needs to be mailed off. So I need to do a final test on it, go mail that off. Those will be done. Waiting for parts on these 2 that are still here. Once I get back, I'll finish those up on stream, send them off, that sort of stuff. Anyways. Doing a little bit of cleanup. And yeah. Ooh. I was just thinking about some stuff I can do while I'm back home. And one of those things is going to be to go to the Kelowna Cheese Factory in Kelowna, Iowa. It's Amish country. They make cheese there, of course. They have fresh cheese curds that are still warm. And they are the greatest thing that has ever existed. They're amazing. You can get fresh cheese curds here or you can get cheese curds. They're relatively fresh here at the Tillamook Cheese Factory. But they're 2, 3, 4 days old, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. They taste great. But there's something different when they're still warm. They just came out of their cooking or their cheese making process. They're still warm. And it's a thing. It's amazing. As I would, but you are in the wrong direction for me, sadly. I'm flying into Moline, Illinois, and going to Southeast Iowa. Yeah. But I might be... Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I can share them. You just have to, fly to Iowa and go to Amish country and get you some cheese curds. Believe me, it's worth it. It's like, you ever see that movie Jiro Dreams of Sushi? It's kind of like that, but cheese curds. Okay, not quite. I don't even think they have anything remotely a Michelin star, let alone 3. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up today. Thanks for hanging out and watching me build some keyboards. And I'll see you in a week or two. Sometime. I'll be online, just not streaming. It's fine. Bye.